Okay, we're going to go ahead and reread this story, The View from Camp, and we're going to go over some of the different questions that you might have struggled on for last week's test. The View from Camp, here's your title. Dear Mother and Dad, my roommate Sid may be a problem. He is so sloppy. Oh, I see a vocabulary word. He whistles really loud, too. He has already knocked over our lamp and broke it. Sid wears a funny blue hat for good luck, but I don't think it is working. Love, Brian. So I think my note over here is going to be that he's unsure of Brian. Oops, sorry. Brian's telling that, so he's unsure of Sid. Dear Mom and Pop, my roommates, Brian, seem kind of jumpy, but I am sure we will be the best buds. He hung up a big poster of all the stars and constellations, so maybe he'll teach me how to find them. Guess what? Our cabin got a brand new lamp today. Loves, Sid. So Sid seems to like Brian. Dear Mom and Dad, don't worry, but today I fell in the lake. Well, that's a big bold print, so I might want to box that in case I need it. We went canoeing across the lake to have a picnic. Halfway there, Sid saw the fish in the water and dropped his paddle. Before it floated away, I leaned over to grab it. Then Sid leaned over too. We tipped our canoe and our lunch sack into the water. Everything got wet except for Sid's hat. The other campers let us borrow some extra clothes, but I had to wear an itchy sweater. Love, Brian. So I'm going to write, they fell in the lake. So this story was written letters back and forth to the parents from two different kids. And you know who's writing them or whose point of view that's being told from because it's who put their name at the bottom, who signed the letter. Dear Mom and Pop, today I saw the huge fish while we were canoeing. I got a real close look before I fell in the lake. My life jacket worked great, and I bobbed up like an apple. The other campers shared all their clothes and food, so I got to meet everyone. Now I have new friends from 7 different towns. Love, Sid. He thought it was fun to fall in the lake, right? Dear Mom and Dad, Sid keeps causing trouble. We went walking in the woods and Sid stepped on a wasp's nest. The wasps were not happy. The counselor grabbed Sid's hand and they raced down the trail. The rest of us ran the other way. Poor Sid got stung twice on his face. He said his lucky hat helped him swish most of the wasps away. But that hat mostly brings bad luck. Now Sid has huge chipmunk cheeks. He can still whistle, but I don't mind anymore. I'm starting to rethink the way I feel about him. Another vocabulary word. Hey, and I know the prefix re, means again. So think again, the way I feel about him. Love, Brian. So it sounds like he's starting to like Brian. And I think that because it said he can still whistle, but I don't mind anymore. So I think he's starting to change his mind. Dear Mom and Pop, I plan to join the track team this fall. Today I ran a half mile in about 3.5 minutes. The wasps that were chasing us probably helped a little. Love, Sid. Ooh, this looks different. P.S. I heard Brian whistling along with me yesterday. Last night he showed me how groups of stars make constellations, and he pointed out the Big Dipper. Then he made up a new constellation and named it Wasper. We laughed so hard we got the hiccups. Okay, so they looked at stars together. Do you see how I'm making jotties down the side? I'm thinking as I'm reading, not just blowing through the reading. Dear Mom and Dad, tonight we were all supposed to put on a show, but Sid and I tried to act out Jack and the Beanstalk. But Sid pulled down the rope beanstalk. Everybody laughed, and I wanted to do a disappearing act. Then Sid started telling the other campers about our week, and he threw me his lucky hat to act out the stories. Pretty soon the room was roaring. Maybe Sid's hat is lucky after all. I had it on last night, and a bunch of campers came to visit. Sid told them I'm great with constellations, and they wanted me to point them out. I never made so many friends at one time. I didn't even mind the mess they made in our cabin. I can't believe this, but I'm going to miss Sid. So he does enjoy him. Love, Brian. Last one. Dear Mom and Pop, we put on a show tonight and it was fantastic. Brian really got into it. I may try out for the junior high play next spring. Everyone told me that I am a natural on stage. Camp has been the greatest. I was so sad to start packing. When Brian wasn't looking, I put my lucky hat in his bag. He really likes it, and I want him to have it. Besides, I'm lucky without a hat. Love, Sid. So he gave Brian his hat. Okay, so let's start looking at some of our questions. Now, each time we look at a question, we're going to go back to the story and prove our answer. Question 2. How does Brian feel at the beginning of the story? So I know what's important here is that how Brian feels. Is he annoyed, excited, hopeful, or scared? So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the story. Here's Brian. And we wrote he's kind of unsure. So my roommate Sid may be a problem. He's so sloppy. He whistles really loud. He already knocked over a lamp. He wears a funny blue hat. I don't think it's going to work. So I think he's annoyed. He's definitely not excited about it. He's not hopeful and he's not scared. So my best choice is A. I used paragraph 1 or letter 1. So I always mark that. And then I come over here. I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's working. I'm going to put a hashtag number 2, okay, because that was question number 2, and that's the part of the story I used to answer my question. I'm not going over every single question, so some of the questions will have different numbers, okay? Number 3, read the sentence from letter 5. Well, I know exactly where I'm going to letter 5. I am starting to rethink the way I feel about him. Think about the prefix re. You know that a prefix is at the beginning of a word. Okay? What is the meaning of rethink as it is used above? Well, I even made a note over here that re meant again. I am starting to rethink the way I feel about him. So I'm going to use that hashtag 3 for my answer. That's paragraph 5, P5, to make something, and I know that re means again. We've learned that. So, make something better, that's not doing something again. Thinking about something again. Go back to the first idea, maybe. Think about it again, maybe. Plan before doing something. Okay, if I got stuck between 2 answer choices, I need to think back. I know that this means again and to think again. So I think my best choice is to think again. So I'm going to eliminate this one, circle B, and I've already shown all my proof. Which sentence from the letter shows that they are written in first person point of view? Some of the things I know about first person is that the writer says I, me, my, we, those types of words. They're including themselves every time. Don't worry, but today I fell in the lake. Ooh, I, so maybe. He's so sloppy. No. Poor Sid got stung on his face. No. Pretty soon the room was roaring. No, these 3 have nothing to do. He's not saying I and including himself. So the best choice is A. Okay. My proof for that, don't worry, but today I fell in the lake. That let's see, where did that go? Okay, it's back on the first page. Ah, it's even in bold print, dark print. So I'm going to put hashtag 4, and that's P3. So over here, I write paragraph 3. Let's look at our next question. Why are some of the letters written in italics? Italics means something that's, the letters are like leaning over, okay? So I know that these are normal, these are leaning over. Look who wrote it, Sid. These are normal, the top ones are leaning over. To show that those letters are meant to be funny? No. To show that those letters should be kept secret? There's nothing secret about this. To show that those letters are more important than the other letters? Well, I think both boys' letters are equally important. Shows their opinions. To show that those letters have a different writer than the others. I think that's my answer. Okay. Let's check. This one that's normal has Brian. This one that's into italics has Sid. And it goes on like that. So I'm going to use just this proof right here for hashtag 5. And I used paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 this time. Okay. I hope you're paying attention because these types of questions are going to be on your retest here in a little bit. How does Sid feel about Brian at the beginning of the story? Well, I know the most important thing here is beginning, and I'm talking about Sid's feelings towards Brian. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the first letter by Sid. My roommate Brian seems kind of jumpy, but I am sure we will be best buds. He hung up a big poster of the stars and constellations, so maybe he'll teach me how to find them. Guess what? Our cabin got a brand new lamp today. He thinks Brian is too loud. Well, Brian's not the loud one. I think that's kind of Sid. He is annoyed with Brian. I think that's the other way around. Brian's annoyed with Sid. He is angry with Brian. I don't think anybody's angry in the beginning of the story. He knows they will become good friends. Ah, there's my maybe. And how do I prove that? I just underlined that. I'm sure we will be best buds. There's my proof. Hashtag 6. And that was P2. All right, here we go. Which word is a synonym? Ooh, I know that synonyms are words that mean the same or about the same. Synonym for the word trail, found in letter 5. I love these. They tell me exactly where to go. I know my answer is going to be in P5. Okay. Synonym for trail. So I need a word that is the same as trail. House, raced, wasp's path. Let me go back to paragraph 5 and just reread that sentence real quick. Here. The counselor grabbed Sid's hand and they raced down the trail. So I know it's something they're going down. So I'm going to put hashtag 7. I'm using that sentence. Something they go down. They raced down the house. That makes no sense. They raced down the raced. That makes no sense. See how I'm trying to put these words in that sentence? They raced down the wasps. Or they raced down the path. Oh, that one makes sense. Okay, so my answer is path because they mean the same. Whose point of view is letter 7 being told from? So I know I'm going to use paragraph 7, letter 7, and the point of view, well, that's who's telling it. So point of view equals telling. Okay, who's telling? Whoops, I misspelled that, didn't I? Telling. Who's telling the story, that part of the story. So let's go to paragraph 7, or letter 7. It's at the top here on the last page. I'm going to go down to who's telling the story. That's Brian. So this is hashtag 8 because it's question 8. I'm going to come over here. I know it's Brian. It's not Sid, Mom, Dad, or Pop. Circle my answer, and I already used P7. See how easy that was? Okay, what is an antonym? First of all, we know that an antonym are words that are opposites, okay? Big and little, mad and happy. Okay, those are antonyms. So we need to find the opposite of the word fantastic found in letter 8. So I know I'm going to paragraph 8, and the opposite of fantastic. So let's come over here. We put on a show tonight, and it was fantastic. So I think fantastic means like great or good. I'm going to answer question 9 with that sentence. So I put hashtag 9. Okay, well, terrible is the opposite, so that might be my answer. Wonderful and fantastic, those are the same. Lucky and fantastic? Well, if you're lucky, it is fantastic, but I don't think that has anything to do with each other. Greatest and fantastic? No. My answer is A, terrible and fantastic, because those are opposites. 3 more questions we're going to go over. What can you infer? Infer means figure out. From paragraph 6 about Sid. So we know we're thinking about what do we know about Sid. So I know I'm going to P6. Okay. Paragraph 6, I need to go back a page. Here's paragraph 6. I plan to join the track team this fall. Today I ran a half mile in about 3.5 minutes. The wasps that were chasing us probably helped a little. Sid is not afraid of wasps. He must be if he was running from them. So I'm getting rid of that. Sid's parents are excited he might join the track team. I don't think we know anything about Sid's parents and how they feel yet, because they haven't written him a letter. So we have to get rid of that. Sid hates to run. I don't know. I mean, he did run, but he said he was kind of excited about it, so I'm going to leave that for the moment. Sid is good at running fast. He must be good at running fast. If I ran a mile in 3.5 minutes, that is pretty good. So I'm going to go with, that's question 10. I definitely think that the better answer is that Sid is good at running because he ran so fast, not that he hates to run. If he hated to run, he probably wouldn't have done it. So I think I definitely need to get rid of that. My best choice is D. So I made an inference. I figured it out based upon the clues in my story. Last 2, guys. Why did Sid fall in the lake? Okay, I should probably go to the part where he fell in the lake. Here we go. And we're going to talk about Sid. Today, I saw this huge fish while we were canoeing. I got real close before I fell in the lake. Okay, so that's hashtag 19. This is just a right there answer. They asked you a question, you found the answer. He did not know how to kayak? No, it didn't say that. He met too many new friends? No. He was leaning over too far looking at a fish? No, I think that's my answer. He wanted to swim in the lake. No, it did not say he wanted to swim. He had a life jacket on. So we're going to choose C. And our answer was in P4. Last one. The other campers let us borrow some extra clothes, and I had to wear an itchy sweatshirt. The imagery, it's how you imagine in your head, okay? The imagery in this line appeals most to the sense of, well, you have 5 senses: sight, touch, smell, taste, and hearing, right? So if it is saying it's an itchy sweatshirt, do you see that? Sight? No. Do you touch something that's itchy? Maybe. Do you smell itchy? No way. And you definitely don't taste an itchy sweatshirt, right? So your best choice for your sense, one of the 5 senses you're using when they said itchy sweatshirt is touch. You can't actually touch anything in a story. So the author has to write in a way that helps you try to imagine those things in your head, okay? So I got to find my proof for this. I got to find what paragraph I found my answer in. Okay, so I'm looking for itchy sweatshirt. I think that was back here. The other campers let us borrow some extra clothes. I had to wear an itchy sweatshirt. That's hashtag 20. Okay, guys, so some of the things you need to remember as you go back to retake your test is that synonyms mean the same. Antonyms are opposites. Prefix comes at the beginning of a word. If you make an inference, you're trying to figure something out. Your 5 senses help you figure out imagery. Bold print means that something's important. Your vocabulary words you can take out of a sentence and then try all 4 of the choices in the sentence to see if that works. Make sure that as you're reading, you're thinking. The other thing you also want to make sure is that you know that when they're writing in this italics in these stories is because this is a different author than the other stories. So the plain ones are one author and the italic stories are a different author. Now, as you're doing your story, your retest, you might want to print the story out and the questions, answer them, and then you can go back into the computer and plug your answers in and submit your choices. So good luck, guys.